The trailer, which showed off the game's cast, didn't go down massively well, with some criticising its tone and dialogue. Well, we've now had 3 hours to play the game, and the chance to speak to Kim Crimes, Concord director of IP, and John Wisniewski, lead character designer on the game, about Concord's plans for the future.
It's the gaming apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen. It actually feels like that. Since I made my video recording yesterday for the demise of Concord, yeah, they ripped the cord straight out of the guts of that behemoth. That 8-year in the making monolith that's now, I don't know. I can guarantee you there'll be a video probably by the end of this week where somebody discovers a landfill site full of Concord, and along with that should be Flintcock and Awakening 9, which will be a new game from Sweet Baby Inc. coming out very soon, which I will also discuss in his video later on. But also, folks, how is my health at the moment? Well, for the last 4 days, because some of you have been asking in the comment section, hope you're feeling better. The weird thing is, when I lie down and when I get up, that's the problem. I've actually got to straddle a chair, if you know what I mean, just to get myself up. But in the last few days, I've been able to walk around my flat without any major issues. I'm not like at full strength yet. I feel like Steve Austin, the $6 million man who's just trying to get his strength back. I mean, at this stage, folks, I wouldn't mind a pair of cybernetically enhanced legs. It could make a world of difference. But at the moment, I've got a lovely Irish nurse coming to see me today to take my bloods, and then maybe once and for all we'll find out if I've got a parasite inside of me, or maybe it's something even more sinister. It's baffling the doctor even. I mean, people who have actually trained for years to be a doctor, and apparently I could be a patient zero kind of dude. But without further ado, folks, it's that time again where we talk about the absolute meltdown on Twitter X of the journalists defending Concord. They're still doing it, and there's even one Journo who's got off the Blackbooth Wukong. It's the Rebecca Vanna. It is the Streisand effect, isn't it? It's just getting out of control now.
Approved by 1970s Robert Redford.
So here we are, folks, on the Steam database charts. What's number 1? Counter-Strike 2, with 778,931 players right now, and that's at 9:43 AM GMT UK time. Second is Black Myth Wukong with 519,768 players. And if we mosey on down to Concord, what do you think the player base is at the moment? 24th player peak, 110 people. That is pretty insane. It's really funny if you go on Twitter X right now, because people are actually having a meltdown. Not just the journalists, but players as well. Some players are still trying to get a platinum before the 6th of September. I'm not kidding. This feels like the game apocalypse. It's like doomsday. The doomsday clock is resetting itself in video gaming, and it's just, well, I would like to say it's hilarious, because people like EA Games, they don't want you to own a physical copy of the game anymore. Even Call of Duty is a con these days, because when you buy the game, you don't actually get it on the disc. You have to download it due to the actual mammoth size of the game itself. I don't understand why games have gotten so big in terms of gigabytes, when back in the old days it was under a gig. You know, it was a few hundred megabytes, and you could install the disc into your favorite games console and play right away. Which is why with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original OG, not the remake, I love playing Spec Ops Survivors. You know, that great, you fight against AI. It's so cool, and that's just part of the game already. I mean, it's mine to keep forever, so I value that. But it seems that game development companies have forgotten what it means for a customer to own your product and keep it on there. You don't have to worry about going online or having a live service engagement. Again, this Sony Concord, what can I say? We were telling you guys, but people out there will stick up for it. And of course, if you're one of the few select players watching this video who enjoyed Concord, well, good for you, bro, because at least you found something to enjoy. Just relish it while you can. So on Twitter X right now, a guy called Synth Potato said the following: Sony, with their 100 million US dollars, could have spent the money on Killzone, make a brand new universe of that game, okay? Infamous 4, again, Infamous Second Son, it looked good, but I thought the combat let it down really badly. Sly Cooper, Days Gone 2, which I would say is the most divisive title on PlayStation's roster right now, because you got that guy Declan, right? Declan St. John, I think his name is. If I'm incorrect about that, I'll put his proper name up there later on. A straight white dude going on this crusade to help his girlfriend and slay zombies in his path. He's a bro dude, voiced by a very good actor, by the way. But no, we can't have that. A new Resistance game will be good. Again, I know I like to milk this to death, apart from a pair of big jugs. But of course, Uncharted. Why don't we get a new Uncharted game? You know, give it to another studio instead of Naughty Dog. But we're not going to get that, are we? And it's such a crying shame. So yeah, this is like Sony just saying a big F you to everybody who supported their products in the past. But you know what? As Varadark has said, and it's a very good catchphrase, and I'm going to paraphrase it here, it's rules for thee, but not for me. So again, when gaming journos talk about, oh, why are you picking on a game that wasn't given the chance? But these same gaming journos won't even buy the video game anyway. They're just there to give it a bit of public support, right? That makes no sense whatsoever. Now, something else that I did not know about this regarding the actual lineup of the Concord roster of characters. So a transgender singer who uses the name Jamila Adderley confirmed that Firewalk Studios turned him into the free gunner Baz for Concord. I like the fact they referred to him as him, which makes absolutely sense. I think this Jamila chap comes from Jamaica or is a singer there, which is I find very odd if that's the case, because Jamaica is a very based country. They don't put up with stuff like that. So according to the Pink News, be warned folks, the fairy voice is coming into full effect today. Adderley wrote on Instagram, I had to go for a walk because I just don't like it when PlayStation wants to turn me into the baddest knife-wielding assassin in all the land. He added, that's right, yours truly as Free Gunner Baz in PlayStation's new multiplayer multi-ethnic video game Concord. Then the Instagram post seems to have been edited where it's now just Baz is the baddest, not the other rhetoric that followed that particular word, which I thought was pretty funny. But a transgender singer in a video game. What are you thinking about, Firewalk Studios? Have you lost the plot? I think the answer is unequivocally yes. This is absolutely cringe. This is Kim Marin, I think, one of the developers behind Concord, or should I say at this stage, Conboard. Hear what they have to say.
To help represent
Hear what she has to say.
The ideas that our artists come up with that feed into the backstories, just like John was saying. That's what's so cool about this process is neither gameplay nor narrative nor art drives. We all steer together and we find each idea
you don't come together?
The whole. So it is very iterative, it's very building, it's very layered.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we can
come on, love.
I've
got a pair of tits to milk in a minute.
Where they dress, what accessories they're wearing, what color their skin is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the accessories and what color their skin is. That's a direct jab at people they call chuds like me and you, because we all want to see white characters, right? Gotta say it again. Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3, when he came out, why was nobody celebrating his existence in that very Italian themed franchise of games, right? I thought he was a good character, and he certainly wasn't ramming down the fist of diversity down your throat, was he? Because I think Hangar 13 knew they had a good thing there and they tried something different. But look at this, it's just a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff. But Smash JT mentioned that Oh, Concord has an episode coming up in Secret Levels on Amazon in December. I covered that a few days ago. It looks like that's still going ahead. It is going to be, this was published 8 hours ago from PCGamer.com, so I will trust them. And it kind of makes sense that they would do that, because even though it's going to be well, look, at this stage, although they pulled the plug on Concord, they haven't erased it from anywhere else at the moment. So it's still going to exist, but I think this is the plan they had going forward. You know, if one part of the IP dies, the other might live on. So I will be curious to see if they're going to put messaging in that episode. Okay, from the maker of Love, Death and Robots, I do wonder if that's going to creep its way into that episode. I hope it does, because then it's more cannon fodder for me to talk about on this channel. So that I thought was very interesting. And again, we have another game coming up called Unknown 9 with Anya Chalotra, or Anya Chalotra, gosh, I can't get that name correct, she was the Yennefer in the Witcher series with Henry Cavill. I mean, again, that's not who I would have chosen to be, but CEO Kim Belair is the actual story writer for that particular game. And if you want to see what it looks like, or you want a casual reminder, again, I would say maybe 10 years ago, a game like this would come out. You might have that diverse character, you wouldn't say anything, but is this game supposed to be for me?
And it is my duty.
I don't know. It's not. I better cut that music down in case I get copyrighted, because South of Midnight, that game, if you react to the trailer on your YouTube channel, they actually slap you with a copyright because of the blues music that musician plays in the bayou. So yeah, forget all about that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, you watch Unknown 9 Awakening. The people behind that, they'll soon be out of jobs as well. And of course, mainstream shill media like Jason Schreier, and I'll get to him in a minute too. Concord. Trust me, folks, I've got plenty of these in my digital library and on my hard drive. And yeah, that's a pretty good effort, actually. I can see what style of prompt he's used there, but trust me, I've got bigger and better, and that's not throwing shade on the guy at all. I tell you what, this is not far from the truth, is it? I mean, you've got your pronouns, you've got a robot with pronouns with a male-speaking voice, and you've got all these other hideous-looking creations, okay, that came out of Frankenstein's lab. And then the DLC will be a pink-haired, diverse person with crutches with guns at the top of them. I mean, yeah, because again, he's parodying Doctor Who when he had that wheelchair-bound woman who had guns either side of a wheelchair. And Doctor Who, by the way, is going to be Doctor Pooh very, very soon, because they're going to cancel that show altogether, which they need to. That thing needs a complete reset. And again, if you have a TV license, don't support the BBC, because it only covers them, not the other terrestrial channels who are funded by adverts and the like. But Jason Schreier, look at this moron right here. Every time a live service game like Concord with no hook or hooked on the feeling or strong word of mouth fails to penetrate, careful with the language there, Jace, an oversaturated market, the most annoying people on the planet will be there to blame diversity. Is this guy brain dead? Is he smelling his own farts? I think the answer to all three questions, folks, is an absolute resounding yes. Daniel Ahmad, hopefully they won't name their next game Titanic, which I thought was pretty funny actually coming from him. Sir Khalif, Positivity Peddler, which is a very dubious, why would you have that as your tag? That's just so weird. I just absolutely hate that chuds will take this as a win and it will be emboldened to them to be even worse. I hate it so much. And guess what, Khalif? We hate you as well, you absolute donut. So this is from Smash JT, who shared this. Imagine my shock discovering that the writer of the Positive Concord article, Morgan Park, is already listed on Kotaku Detected for pushing DEI propaganda and slanderous IGN style attacks against game science's black myth Wukong. You just can't make this crap up, can you? You really cannot. Oh, and a Morgan Park, I have heard of this dude before. It's questionable if he actually looks like a dude. He looks a bit like Sean Astin, which is a bad comparison, but that's the first thought that came to my mind. I mean, what a big surprise, right? There's no such thing as game journalism anymore. It's just pissing itself in the gutter right now. And Star Wars Outlaws. Here's exactly how long it takes to beat Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, you get a club called Lucille, you get the copy of the game, and you beat it to death like that. And that's how you move on to your next gaming title in your library. And have a look at this article by Shannon Liao. If you want to know what she looks like, is this person right here. And of course, you know, they have to have a lovely hair color. Look at that. Oh, lovely Shannon. Lovely to meet you, Miss Lau. Oh, lovely. Oh, yes. She's got some credentials to her, apparently. But she made this scathing attack on Black Myth Wukong. So Shannon Liao said, Black Myth Wukong isn't even good. But that won't stop Chinese nationalist and anti-woke sales. This woman is absolutely mad. Oh my word. So she's praised the game, which is fine. That's okay. Activating the anti-woke mob. Well, at least she's acknowledged the fact. Last year, IGN published a report about the studio being plagued by claims of sexism. That, Shannon, by the way, happens everywhere in business. It's not just limited to video games. Oh my god. There was evidence of sexism and merely vulgarity. So if I say tit, bum, ass, boobs, and the like, is that very toxic for you, Shannon? Do you feel offended? Do you want to let YouTube know that I've been a bad boy like Gloria Estefan once sung about? Well, go ahead, bitch, make my day. The logo for Game Science was also noted by Chinese content creators from supporting Black Myth very much, and its resemblance to the male sperm. Yeah, of course. It probably is, but who cares? It described the internet culture that many are familiar and comfortable with. In fact, the controversy may have boosted sales by raising awareness of the game. That is a totally tone-deaf article for Miss Lau right there, because everybody was already excited for Black Myth Wukong, the same video game that had Starbucks celebrating it in China on a limited run of their coffee, right? This was covered by Destin Ligeri on his video. And somebody told me on Twitter X that in China, they even gave workers the day off to play the game at home. So again, for a country that is controlled by CCP, and they allowed their employees to do this, which is pretty awesome if that's actually true. That's actually astounding. Again, one of the workers at Game Science wears a plastic chicken on his head and develops whatever he wants to, which is incredible. I can't imagine how much money these game devs have made already, and I don't think it's some kind of secret Trojan horse. Oh no, if you put the game in your PC, it's going to suck up all your data, all that garbage. No, it's none of that at all. People just want to play a very good video game, and yeah, I haven't had a chance to get through with it yet, or even start it. I haven't even downloaded it because time is just not on my side at the moment, to quote the Rolling Stones. I've just got so much things going on in my life. I just want to get better again and, you know, just rethink everything. And by the way, guys, I've got a few ideas coming up regarding Patreon and possible merch. Yeah, I mean, that's something I'm working on. I just need to figure out the costs, but it's going to be a good day in hell, man, when that all finally happens. I'm just working on some things on the side. A few ideas are popping into my crazy goofball mind, and that's just the way I like it. And speaking of which, oh, thank you for joining me, my lovely. Oh, good grief. Can never get enough of Jill Valentine. She's my obsession, folks. I mean, if I told you how obsessed I am with this beautiful woman right here, I mean, she's the epitome of everything I just worship about Caucasian women. But if you enjoyed this video today, and actually I got to highlight a comment from one of my subscribers who said, dude, you need to be on mainstream media. Well, listen, my friend, I appreciate the compliments, and I have had exposure in mainstream media before. It's a different ball game. It's too many people pushing buttons, shouting in your ears, telling you this. It's all very manufactured and recycled. But here, in my small but comfortably tight room, and believe me, we do like tight, don't we, folks? I get to be my own boss, my own man, my own amigo, I guess. And that's just the way, to quote Casey and the Sunshine Band, I like it. So on that one, if you were me, and if I were you, you might want to return, including you, Jill, for the next video.
I know that it's all about how does it play, right? And so that's, like, for me, that's the moment. I want players to come into the beta. If they don't like it after the beta, that's fine.
Do you remember back in the 80s, there was this Sega Nintendo competition, and Sega